getting on. Okay, looks like we are already here. Okay, let me share the screen and we can double check there in the YouTube. Share screen.
Mariana, but not yet the discourse.
Okay.
Can you speak, Luis?
Yes, I'm here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me?
Yeah, all good.
Let me just look
Okay.
for the direct here in my phone, just to have it. For the direct here. Perfect. Then, so everyone is all right.
You can start.
Perfect. Then, yeah, I can hear. So, thank you very much for being here in another session of the Twisted Coatl Movie Club. This time we are going to talk about Perfect Days, from 2023. If I remember well, a really good one. Really enjoyed this movie. So yeah, let's get started.
Great.
Perfect. So let's talk about the movie. It's actually really simple, to be honest, and I think is one of those key points that make this movie really good. That is not too complex, but at the same time, it shows us like how to say it could be like another perspective in life or on how to do things. But yeah, so the plot is about Hirayama, who lives in Tokyo. He works like cleaning public restrooms, and we can see his peaceful life. He has some, passions. He reads a lot, and he took a bunch of photos about nature. So he is into this peaceful life and doing his routine. And suddenly he has some not news, but like a certain situations that change his routine and push him to interact with more people and to connect or being with his past. I mean, familiar history and his own way of life, right? So yeah, this is more a lot. As I said, is a really simple one. So yeah, that's the general idea of this movie. The next one. So the director, let's talk about him. I couldn't find that much information about him. Wim Wenders. He was born in Germany. He's a German director. He's also a producer, and he has a bunch of pictures. Those could be Wings of Desire, Paris, Texas, and Perfect Days. The only one that I know from him is Perfect Days, and I forgot because I don't remember well, but I believe that I saw something in movie. Not sure. I could find it, but yeah, he's a German director. He has 80 years old, so yeah, it's a little bit old. The next one. And yeah, the screenwriter is Takuma Takashi. He was born in Japan in Fukuoka Prefecture. And this one it was kind of hard to find even this little information. He has a low profile. He has worked in this Perfect Days movie, in Honoka Boy and Time Sleep Horbai Yasube. So I believe that he also has some TV shows, but I'm not really sure. Looks like as I said, he has a low profile and he preferred to be like out of the radar. So that's fine. But yeah, he's the one. As we can see in this movie, he is a really good one. So yeah, he has a really good job. So more or less, this is like the general information about this movie, and I want to start. I believe this movie has a bunch of topics. Even it is simple in what they are telling us. We can scratch and find topics about not just the way of life this guy has, but about fatherhood, which is why I choose this movie. I mean, I know it's not that related because he has no kids, but okay, spoiler, as we can see, he is related to his niece, and he kind of uh, he show us how could be a good parent, I guess. Yeah, but he has no kids. But yeah, we are going to reach that point in briefly. But I want to start with the very first thing, or one of those very first things we can see, which is the relationship between the human life and nature. Because I know that is probably not the main topic, but this guy has something with it. He lives in this big city, which is Tokyo, and he has all this routine, but looks like the only relief he has, or motivation, I don't know, could be this connection with the nature. I mean, he take photos of the trees, uh, and also he take care of these. I'm not sure how to say it. Retoños, little trees, baby trees, sure. um, but so yeah, I want to ask you, what about it? For me, it's one of those main topics because okay, I'll tell you after your comments. So yeah, tell me, what do you think, or I mean, or your general comments, doesn't matter if it's related to nature or no.
No, yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned that, because even though this movie it's about
Mm-hmm.
this rhythm of life, when I think of this movie, I think of the scene when he's taking pictures of the same tree over and over again, and just like contemplating that tree, or nature. So yeah, it's interesting that I think it's just the awareness of the moment that makes it like relevant. It's like the difference between the natural world and the manufactured world of mind, if that makes sense. And that if you align yourself with the natural world, it's just a different kind of perception. And I think that's what sticks with me with this movie, and that it shows it in a, I wouldn't say even in a way, but sincere. And that's what I find like, I don't know, commendable of this movie. And yeah, and also it's in the picture here is like the the toilets that he cleans are in a park and everything. So it's a very green movie, I think, and it's refreshing to see this kind of rhythm in its scene. What do you think, Luis, about
Absolutely.
this movie? And the yeah, that's what my main comments about it.
I agree. Actually, yeah, I saw that nature was important. Uh, I didn't realize how it was, but I totally agree that it was part of the main character's life, right? How he would take care of the little trees. Um, and also, now that I remember, there is a scene when he was, I don't remember if he was having his lunch at the park, and he saw a man who was hugging a tree and who was acting like very weird. Um, I don't know. It made me think that sometimes, as you mentioned, it's important to be in touch with nature, but for other people could be or could look like we or like okay that that person is mad, right? Because he's like I don't know, like if being close to nature seems or looks like something strange to others, like something out of our nature, right? It's like, I don't know, it's kind of weird, but I think that sometimes we tend to forget where we come from because we are in this routine, as you mentioned, in the big city, and we are just thinking about the work and money, which is another subtopic of the movie, and what's really important to be successful and what you need to be, yeah, to success at life, right? But we forget the most basic things, which are one of them is nature, and yeah, I think it's also depicted in the movie.
Okay, I like it.
Just one thing,
Yeah, sure.
it's interesting that, yeah, you have all this environment, but it's also like the infrastructure of the city, right? That enhances the possibility of the encounters with nature. So, what do you think, Mariano, about that? The way that the city is built with green spaces and all. I want to see what you.
It's really interesting because as we all know, I mean, I haven't been there, but we know that Tokyo is a really big city, um, and if we think about it, we are mostly related to concrete and dead spaces. I mean, like no life there. Like everything is a bunch of people walking around and vehicles and all that thing that is related to the cities. So for me, it was really interesting to see this other like perspective of how Tokyo is built. Uh, I didn't know that they have this kind of. I mean, I knew that they could have parks or whatever, but as you said, there are like connecting certain ways, and it's looks like it's not that hard to find those spaces. And even in those are like great green spaces. I mean, those trees that he took photos, those were really big trees, you know. I mean, we have it here in Mexico City, but uh, it wasn't in my mind when I think about Tokyo, you know. So for me, it was yeah, interesting. I really like it to see this other perspective of Tokyo, and okay, I will try to connect it with the other area. This remind me as the other movie that we saw that I just forgot the name.
The evil
Evil
does not
does not
exist.
exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean not because they are in
In
Japan,
Japanese.
but yeah, those are Japanese movies. But this logic, as we said in that other movie, this logic about what is meant to be for humankind with this relation with nature and how we transform it in a being, which is hard, which is yeah, not natural. So for me, that was really important because uh, it reminds me again of this kind of connection they have. I mean, I'm not sure if everyone, right? But at least this character have it. This is like sensitive to nature and to what is alive around him. So yeah, I really enjoy it. It reminds me to that, and it also reminds me their culture, the Japanese culture, is too similar to the pre-Hispanic cultures in this relation between nature and our human life. You know, so that's why I wanted to talk about it in the first place. Also, I mean, if we can try to go forward. Um,
Yeah.
I want to ask you about routine. What about the routine? I mean, talk about it in a bunch of different moments together about how the routine can help you. but also I see that it's kind of, or could be kind of dangerous, because if the routine is always the same, it could lead you into like kind of madness, or repetition over and over again, the loop, you know.
Yeah.
So how can we manage? I mean, this guy is really happy with this soft routine and enjoys every step of it, but uh, I mean, there is a line between that and between being an, a slave or something. So what do you think about Dean? His
I think
routine
it's the
and
intensity.
routine in general. What about it?
Yeah, the intensity on which you put yourself in a routine, I think it's what makes the difference. I mean, if we are not robots, right? But we
Mhm.
can become numb or I don't know, just drained after a while. But this guy is not drained. He actually enjoys every moment. And I think that's the important part. At least for me, the only key always is kind of awareness or a sense of presence in every activity. I mean, it's hard to do, but that's the only way, and that erases any possibility of a repetition being obnoxious or just plain consuming of your soul in a way. So I don't know. It's just to understand what you are doing, and for me, at least, what works is to do a specific amount of time or a segment, and not to say I will be here from 7 to 7. No, I cannot work like that. More like give myself the space to do a certain activity and enjoy that activity in that moment, and then pass on to the next and the next and the next. And so, but I don't know. At least that's the way I do it, not to constrain myself too much,
Mhm.
but to give myself the space to do a specific thing in a specific moment and then move on to something else and enjoy the experience of each. I don't know if I'm going to watch a movie, for example, this, I like to delegate a specific moment of the day to say, okay, I will only do this and only this. And because I don't like to mix things and
Yeah.
I don't know, and that gives me like a sense of inner peace, or I don't know, I just enjoy things more. But if I were to just say, do this from 9 to 9 and mindless, I don't know. I think that's the problem, but at least how it works to me. I don't know. What about you? What I don't think routine is bad, at least for me, because we need to do certain things. But I think it's also important to give spaces to just contemplate life. So it's more meaningful. At least
Okay.
that's what I think for the movie. Yeah.
That sorry, just real quick. That give me a question about. Looks like this life he has, Hirayama has, is a contemplative one. But
Yeah.
as we can see, he's not about uh, like anything. He's just doing those steps on the routine, and that's it. And when he start thinking about any other kind of problems, his sister or his father or whatever, it's just when the routine is broken. So
Yeah.
uh, so yeah, I just thought about it, and totally agree about the routine could be or should be just like a general structure to follow, but no like a teach, you know.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Just one quick idea. At least for me, I think that the mind of the human should not be taken too seriously. Like it's the prison in a way. And if we think of animals, like they have a certain routine and they do their activities and they go to sleep and they are well. And the human mind is the one that creating all these experiences and fantasies and everything. And that's what creates so much pain. And so I don't see why the routine is bad, because living and to live is to do a specific things. And I see the thinking or the excessive thinking
Uh-huh.
as the enemy in some way, or the intrusive kind of aspect of mankind. So if we see movies about thinkers, for example, they are mostly tormented. Like if you use your mind, you're mostly tormented, unless you are like on a goal and just striving towards that goal obsessively. But I think that to live and to be human, it's more similar, or should be more similar to what this movie tries to convey, because it
Okay,
shouldn't be all that painful, I think. Yeah.
really interesting. What do you think, Luisito? Is just about your mind?
I don't know. I agree that routines are useful, are very important. It's something, as you said, we have talked a lot before. Honestly, something that I need, that I have experienced before, that it helps because if you have a structure, I agree that it probably it's difficult to follow like certain time, right, to do all the activities because circumstances that change everything, right? Like as the main character encounter, like I don't know, there's a problem or there is a situation, and you cannot follow like that all your calendar without the exceptions, right? So for me, it's also it's important to follow like to have an idea or like a framework. Okay, like for example, the we practice languages when we go to the bathroom, right? Or we do exercises in the morning, or we do whatever. But you know that that those are habits that you have at specific moments or like general moments of your day, and I think that that helps a lot um, to give have a sequence, be closer to your goals, because it's important to be consistent, and it's something that this guy and his routine, right? He was very perseverant. He would always read, and he would work. I don't know. He was always living the moment. He wasn't like thinking about other things. He was just in the present. When he had to work, he worked. When he had to read, he read, and everything. He gave all his attention to the activity he was doing. Something that it's hard for me, but I think that it's pretty useful to focus on what you're the present and to as you mentioned too, to be also leave time to live and contemplate what it's around you. Something that I think it's hard sometimes, and we also see it in other characters like his assistant, right? He would always be not he was cleaning, but at the same time he was thinking about the girl he liked, and he was checking his social media. See that he's like a kind of immature, right, compared to this the main character.
Let me ask you, Luisito, is routine is part of a good life? Because as you said, everything that Hirayama does on his routine, it looks like he enjoyed it. I mean, even cleaning those bathrooms was something that he liked. Uh, I mean, so if we build our routine with things that we enjoy, is like this path to the good life, or the routine itself it give us this good life, or none of those. I mean, it's a question that I had when I this movie. So yeah, tell me, what do you think, Luisito?
I think that the activities you do in every day, I mean, in your everyday basis, are the key to feel happy. I mean, it's no, I think that it's kind of dangerous because one day for me it's like let's compare it to a whole movie, right? In one day you live a lot of things. You go to work, you can face different problems, you can feel a bunch of emotions, right? So I think that single day in our life, it's important to be appreciated, contemplated, and it's important to live certain moments to do the things you really like. I mean, to of course to work because we have to do it, to do your tasks, but enjoy your day, to leave time to the things you really enjoy, like Mujica would say. So for me, the routine is just like a tool. It's a tool that helps you
Okay,
do all the things you need to do and what you really enjoy to feel satisfied not only when you achieve but every day, like every
okay,
single step. So I think that the routine is a good thing, but the goal is to I don't know, to appreciate every day.
okay. So
What do you think?
there is a good life without Could be.
Yeah,
It's hard for me to imagine it. I mean, maybe my mind is just too boxy or something, you know. uh,
Yeah.
so
No,
yeah, I have it.
there's some.
What do you think, Leo?
Yeah, I was thinking that this kind of mind and routine,
Uh
I
huh.
agree too. Yeah, it's a good way of putting it. The mind is trying to put a certain structure, but if we think well beyond, we were like hunters, I think, nomads before. And the problem is that we cannot be nomads more. Like we have the idea of 7 days a week, 24 hours, and that kind of way of looking at life. So we are the routine is actually what happened after culture. That's what actually happened. But life, I think, it's only lived fully when you are present. And the best way to be present was to enter before. So I don't think routine is related to happiness. It's more the presence of being what it's important to be happy, but I don't know, fulfilled. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's what it's important. But I see the routine or this way of life as the progression after agriculture thing that came after. So yeah, there's like two
Okay.
different ways of looking. Yeah.
I like it. Let me ask you both then. So, I'm trying to imagine all of these like a line between the nature world, and if
Yeah.
we move into that line, we approach to the human world, human-made world. I mean, we
Mhm.
can see this idea in all of these movies that we have seen. So we have this right, this line, and if we start going to this human world, as you said, really like it, we have the tool of routine.
Mhm.
In this case, in Hirayama case, we can see he used this tool just to
Mhm.
like a way of life, but the meaning of life, the important thing of that, is not his job or his readings or music, whatever. It's nature. He used this tool to reconnect with nature. So how is that possible? I mean, if he is living in Tokyo, which is a big city, he's living around a bunch of technology, a bunch of whatever, as we can see with his assistant. Uh, in the first look, Hirayama is just in the middle of the human world, you know. But if we just scratch a little bit on his routine, we can see that he used this of routine to trying to go back to the nature world. You know, I'm trying to imagine in that way. I don't know if it
Mhm.
makes any sense, but I have it there. So uh, so yeah, where are those limits of this? Even if we put Hirayama in the middle of a small village or whatever, in the middle of the woods, he will he could try his routine again, or what could happen? I mean, is routine part of his life, like something that we cannot separate from him?
Think that, as you said, that he's trying to connect with the nature and the rhythm of nature. And I think to be connected to that nature, you have to be connected to your own inner rhythm. And it's like if we had a clock or something inside, like a sort of circadian clock, that it's wired with us to be attuned to the world
Okay.
around us. And so the world, external world, is the same as world in a way. But the society, it's sometimes blurry and too much that disturbs your inner balance, I think. But if you and get a way of distractions and everything, and don't focus on too much on the desires and all, you can find your inner clock. I think that's what why he
Okay.
was so happy. So it's like, yeah, I think we have like a internal way of working that it is just the perfect way for each of us. I don't think everybody has it the same, but we all have a certain clock or a certain pulsation that
Nice.
we attune it, we also attune with nature, I think. And it's like the fullest life we live as humans, I think.
Great, great, great.
What do you think, Luis, about it?
Yeah.
Or what's
Yeah,
your... Yeah.
I was thinking that, I mean, if understanding your points, you're saying that like routine is a human thing, like a tool we have developed.
Yeah.
It's weird that we are, I mean, that the Hirayama is using this tool to reconnect with nature. It's like a paradox, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's it.
So I'm thinking that, okay, I mean, for example, I live with a cat, right? And I'm thinking, okay, my cat also has things because every morning she tries and she asks me for food and she does like see me every day. I know that she does, I don't know, at night she's more active and things. In the afternoon, she always sleeps. So we think about the animals in the wild. In wild, probably they can also have their own routines, right? But they would at a certain time, they would sleep at a certain time. So I'm thinking like if it's a really, I mean, if routine is really a human thing, or it's also part of our natural or part of our as animals. I don't know. If so, it wouldn't be that weird that he could sit to reconnect because I was thinking like I don't know. I'm not sure if he was using the routine to as a tool to reconnect with nature, or if the activities that allowed him to reconnect with nature were part of his routine.
Yeah.
Like he was giving this time, right, to do the activities he really liked, to water his plants, to have lunch at the forest because he could have had lunch any other place at a restaurant, at home, whatever. Right? He chose to do these activities in the places that they were more pleasant for him. So I think it was part of his choices, right? And I think that he was that happy because he was given time. He could do all the activities he liked. So for me, that's why I think that he was happy. Because for me, for example, I feel frustrated when I don't have time to do something because there is an imbalance, right? That okay, I spent all day working or doing homework and I didn't do the things that I had to do. So in his case, he was that methodic that he had everything, the things, the tasks he had to do, and the things he really enjoyed.
Okay. Obviously, we don't know, but this idea of using the routine to find nature or to connect with your inner self. It reminds me to what Descartes said in remember the book. It doesn't matter, but Descartes said about the provision morality that he just obeyed some rules, whatever he was, and having a job, so he can allow to buy food and some other stuff. But with that morality, he could build a real and uncertain world. So yeah, doesn't matter. I mean, it's another idea, but it reminds me to that. Um, uh, Let me ask you then about fatherhood. I was thinking that fatherhood is guidance. I'm
What kind of guidance or
that's the thing. Through life, because as we can see here in the movie, just for the people that didn't saw it, this girl is the niece of Hirayama, and she just one day appears there in his home, and looks like he just had troubles with his, and she decided to stay with his uncle, her uncle. So they spend like a day right together, and after that, uh, this girl went back to and that's it. But in even in this brief time, we can see how he's trying to uh, teach or to share with her his own way of life. Uh, uh, because of course that's what we do as humans, right? We share what we have, but also looks like she is kind of lost. She is not sure even. I mean, she has all these problems that allows her to go out of her home, so this guidance could provide about another way of life is part of a fatherhood, I believe. But I'm not sure. What do you think?
I think that we as humans walk different paths, and what we are trying to teach is the path that we choose, or say the other person to not choose the path that we choose.
Okay.
You know, I think that the guidance, and I mean, you could use religion, or you could use, I don't know, just focus on money, or just focus on awareness or everything. But to me, that guidance is to walk specific paths of life, and that's the way I see it. And a good father, I think, should understand his own path with his virtues and mistakes, and align in a specific way to push or show those paths, and to say, if you go this, you get this. I mean, it's not a full science, right? But I think it's along those lines that we tend to walk different lives, and we don't know actually what we're doing, like, most of the time. But fatherhood, I think, serves as like when you are climbing the mountain, if somebody leaves like a trace, or an arrow, and you say, oh, thank you, that this is the way. And I think that that's it. Like, you're just pushing your own path, and fatherhood should put those milestones to make manageable, or to not get lost. I think that's what I think about it.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. He was not only to his niece, right? Also to his coworker. I was thinking a lot about him because I think that he was kind of as you said, guidance, like a guide. Like, okay, if you do, I don't know. I think that it was his way of life was that wise for the others, that he was like a reference, right, for their own life. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that they have to do the same he did, right? Like we said, probably this routine and this methodology works for him, but everyone has to find their own way, right? But when you find who is in such a balance like this guy, it's like useful for you, right? It's like he's doing something right. Probably I can learn something from him. So probably that's why he have close to his niece and to these other guys, right? Because they were kind of lost in life, and could be like in some help for them to be with Hirayama.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
that's the key point, Luis. Balance, like a life in balance. Like, if I remember, at the end of the movie, almost at the end, her sister of the protagonist shows up, and like, she's really wealthy, and it's like she has like too much on a certain spectrum, but she lacks on other spectrums, and it crushes. Even though she has a lot of money, she maybe doesn't have the best relationships and all. So I think, even though Hirayama doesn't have like the money that her sister has, his balance, it's much more present, or his life is just well balanced, as you say. And I think that's a more commendable way of living, because even though we are pushing toward specific goals,
Mhm.
that means that we are not focusing on other things, and because we cannot handle everything at once. But if you do it with, I think it's manageable, and you live fully, or just better, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Um, this is kind of a mystery for me about his past, because of course we cannot see. Uh,
Yeah.
but I have here in my notes that looking for guidance is something that everyone is doing. Like how we can find our place or our path, whatever in the world. So for me, that's why I believe this guidance is part of the parenting and the fatherhood. So really interesting to hear you about this balance he has, because kind of sacrifice we can do to have it. I mean, he sacrificed his family and any other relations. I mean, the only people he relates with are those guys of the ramen and the old mans on public bathrooms. That's it. So uh, it's kind of hard for me to imagine that this guy could be the perfect example of what a kind of life should be. I mean, of course, it's a balance for him. It works for him, and he can show her his niece the path, but everything is good on it. I mean, at least for me, not everything is should be. Uh, so yeah, I'm thinking about it. Not sure if we copy this path or what is the what should be a father like, showing the possibilities, just showing it, or
No, I think
push
you just
choose
walk.
any of those.
I mean, I think you should walk with with your son, I think, or your daughter, to show, because it will be like you just witnessing life, not experiencing it. But I don't know. It's I think different questions. Like one is the parenthood,
Mm-hmm.
fatherhood, and the other is like the rhythm of what he is lacking. And I think that in the end he's just in much pain, like in the whole movie. Like we see it because he's living well, but he's running away from something.
Yeah,
That's why
that's it.
he's. I mean, yeah, but that doesn't deters from the idea that he's enjoying his time, and those days are perfect in a way. But it's like you cannot have it perfect and don't have any things bad. It's just part of the duality of this world. And I don't know. I just think that even though, I mean, my idea is that even though we have some pains or problems,
Mhm.
to push towards that idea of living full, I think that's the way to heal, or at least to make amends with mistakes. And so you just push forward to a different chapter of your life. I don't know. I don't know. It's just, I think, the way it works. Like you
Okay,
just
okay.
gather yourself and move along. Yeah.
And you, Luisito?
Yeah. I also thinking that his role. I mean, as you mentioned, he had like a role of as a guide, but yeah, at least we know that being not only a right, also a friend or an uncle in this case, or
Perfect.
whoever. I mean, we cannot tell one, okay, you should do this because our lives are so different, right? So, and our personalities and situations, it cannot be replicated. So I think that the only thing to do is like, okay, this worked for me. I can give you my perspective, my point of view, or I have had these kind of experiences, and the other person has to choose, right? Okay, that this works for me. Yeah, I think that the guys or the daughter, also his assistant, were doing this, like they were working with him or they were spending some time, and it was helpful for them, though we saw that it for them I mean, they didn't want to become a janitor, or they wouldn't have the same habits or the same personality or the same job as this man, right? They would find their own. They were also seeking for their own way, their own path, but learning a lot from this man. So yeah, that's what I could see. And I don't know if you are. we are going to mention it, but I would like to ask you also about the success. I mean, you think about the idea of success, what a successful life is, and what is meant in the movie. What does it suggest? Because I think that there are several scenes, right,
Mm-hmm.
that the of people like judging him, like, "Oh my God, you're a janitor, right?" And for example, when he rescued the little boy who was in the bathroom and he let him,
Mm-hmm.
she didn't say thank you, right? She would just clean the hand of his boy, like if I don't know, like if he had done something wrong or he wasn't like like he didn't deserve a thank you because he was like something less. He was being something miserable. I don't know. This idea of success that we usually have in mind. I think that his job was very symbolic, right? Why he was a janitor and he also being happy doing this kind of activities that is like on the bottom of the social hierarchy, right? So I would like to think, what's your opinion about the success?
For me, is again part of this line between nature and human world. He decided to follow another idea of success. I mean, probably as Leo said, he's running away from something, but I mean, he chose that path, and now not trying to reach money or power or whatever. He's trying to be happy. So for me, it's a good way of life. It's a way to having a meaning in life, but I'm not sure if it's for everyone. I'm not sure even if it's for me. I mean, I enjoy all of those activities he had, uh, taking pictures, taking care of my plants. I mean, I could have that kind of life, but I'm not sure if it's enough for me.
But
So
what is that more that you are looking? I mean, I think
uh,
that's what it's
that
interesting. Like,
that's the thing.
what is? Yeah, yeah.
To help, I think I have the question. The answer is to help other people. I believe that not my purpose in life, but what I want to do with my life is to help the other. So, I mean, his activity is something necessary. So, actually, I want to talk about it about this maintaining labors that for me are like essential to have this world like well functioning. You know, we need this kind of jobs, and someone needs to take care of it. So yeah, he has this activity which is something is a way to help the other people, but uh, I want to help in another way. I want to do more for other people. So that's why uh, it's not for me, at least now. Probably at his age, uh, the early 50s, maybe I could move to another place and just in my retirement have this kind of peaceful life. Not now, not now. But so yeah, just to take once more the idea of the success, I think he managed um, to change the general idea of success. He has a good life and he enjoys every step on that routine on his the whole week on his whole life. Uh, but I know that it's not for everyone, and not everyone is ready to see that this is a good life.
Yeah. No, that's, I don't know, just makes you think. Like, this is one of those movies that just make you think. Like, I don't know, at least to me, like, words to say about it. It's just like makes you ponder, and it makes you like think,
Absolutely.
huh, what am I doing really? But one thing that I kind of thought is that success, I think, it's only for the society. Like, if we are trying to be successful, show it to somebody else. Like, the other way would be to have power. If you want power, that's like for you because you want like to control everything. But to be successful, I think it works if the other recognizes that you are successful because you won to against her. And so I think that's the game that he just didn't want it to play, like to say, I don't want to be just in this race against everybody. And I think that what he achieved was like a acceptance or at least an inner balance to run away from that endless struggle of success. But yeah, that's my idea. Success is like
For the other.
only related to the society or people around you that recognize you as successful. And if you quit yourself of human relationships, you don't need to be successful because just to be yourself, you could be like enough, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
But yeah,
My goodness, that was a hard one. What do you think, Luisito?
I agree with both. I mean, I really like what you said. It's something that at this moment I mean, have a lot of goals. I would like to, for example, build a big company and also help a lot of people. Like I am very ambitious right now, and I wouldn't like to give up those projects. Right? I wouldn't like to just give up and live a peaceful life like this man at this moment. Probably later, right? At like 60s or I don't know. Once I feel like, okay, I'm done with my life, I've given all my energy, my youth, and I can just be live like in a peaceful way in the forest or in a cabin. I don't know. It's something that I would like to do later, right? So I wonder what made this guy or these people like say, okay, that's enough, right? We don't know if he had aspirations before. If he, I don't know, when did he decide that he wanted to just be a janitor, right? Because his sister asked him, like, okay, are you still a janitor? And he was like, yes. So it's like interesting when he decided it was enough for him. I'm not saying like it was wrong. I would like to know what made him make that decision that he was happy with what he had in that moment. Um, and I was thinking another thing that what Leo said. Uh, but well, yeah, in my opinion, success is oh yeah, like Leo said, like it to show off, right? Like oh yeah, I have a PhD or I am a I don't know I won an award. We are looking for recognition from the others, and I think that's a big trend, and that's why I also admire this former president of Uruguay, like Jose Mujica, because I think that he was pretty similar to this Hirayama's character. That they gave it's useless, right? We are following like paths or ambitions that are not that are or necessary, but we are just following the rat race, and we don't realize. And I think that these kind of people realize that, and they just didn't want to follow that way. They didn't want to work just to have big like an expensive car and live all your life just paying rent and debts and so on, right? So for me, again, it's like I am very ambitious at the moment, but I think that it's very important to follow or to understand these kind of things. That it's important to show off, right? Like success is like an inner thing that we should feel like proud of our own achievements and just live and enjoy and experience every single day, right? Like not to focus on, not focus too much on the goal because we don't know. We don't even know if we are gonna get there. I mean, it's gonna be completely different. Um, Plans are used. I think we can follow. All of us can follow this kind of philosophy, enjoying the present.
Okay.
So it's up to us how we want to use it.
Okay, following the ideas, I just asked in the comments, Frank Zamorano said, I mean, about the succeed. He said, success is to become a kinder man after everything you live through. To success is not to let him turn you into a bad or uncaring person. What do you think about it? it's hard to stay. I mean, to be a good person always. I try myself to not hate everyone, or sometimes, I mean, with awful news, as genocide or war, or, or something like that. I mean, that those are topics that moves my heart. So it's hard for me to not have those bad feelings, to think bad stuff about all that people. So yeah, I agree with Frank in part about not being a bad person. So what do you think? Can you forgive everyone? Can you be as good as you are, even if someone hurts you? That
I
pushed me
don't
to
know.
the idea of the second chance. Do you give second chance to the people? I do, always.
Oh yeah, of course, but I don't know if the success is just to be kinder or just to be, I don't know, to strive to do better, I think. And
Mm,
I don't think it's necessary to have pain, but pain is a good teacher. And so I wouldn't relate it completely to be have pain to in order to be successful and kind. It's just it teaches you faster, I think. But yeah, I think it's just again the idea of walking certain paths. You could walk path of redemption, or you could walk the path of, I don't know, pure vengeance. And
that's
what
it.
would that take you? Like, what would be the outcome? I don't know. And I think in the end, it's just different experiences of life that grant you different understandings of life. And so I don't know. That's just what I think, that we can morph or choose our experience in a certain way with our actions and our mind. But yeah.
Yeah, I think it's right. I mean, it's very important to be kinder. I mean, as people say, right? It's not what happens to you, but what you do that happens to you, right? It's if you had a, I don't know, if you didn't like something that your parents did to you because they were mean or they were too aggressive or something. Well, I think it's our duty to do it different with others, right? And it's very difficult because we tend to do the same that is done to us. So I think so. Yeah, it's part of life, part of learning, of becoming a better person, a better version of ourselves to heal this pain. As I said, like yes, it's a very hard, and pain is a good teacher. But yeah, I think that in general, I see life as a school. So I think that it's to learn from all these experiences, especially from the painful ones. And right now, I'm just remembering, it came to my mind the book Siddhartha. I think that it's one of the, I don't know, it's like one of my guidance, like a person who had a lot of experiences. He was rich, was poor, like Buddha, right? And at the end, it doesn't matter. There is no one path in life, like we were talking about before, right? There is not that we have to follow this the path of Hirayama or whoever. It's like follow. We have to find our own way, right? But life teaches us, and we live experiences that make us learn and heal the things we have to improve. So yeah, I agree. I think life and pain are great
Nice.
teachers.
Just to close the idea of fatherhood and all of that, I also said that yeah, the fatherhood is physical and emotional contact. Is it necessary? I mean, you can see Hirayama is not uh, like a guy who enjoys this physical contact, But even with that, he can share a bunch of lessons about life. So he could be a good father even without it. So what do you think?
I think that would be like the archetypes of fatherhood. You have like the father, the big Viking, like in the to train your dragon, or that kind of father.
Yeah.
I don't know. You just have different kinds of doing it, and I don't know. It's just different experience. I wouldn't just say there is one way. Like they are different and they have weaknesses and strengths. But I think the most important thing, at least to me, is involvement. Like to be completely involved in your son's life. Like whatever experience it is, to be like completely present, at least to me. And then would be like the physical contact and the emotional and all. But like to just say, I'm here, and I'm watching you.
It's not always necessary to have this physical contact,
Yeah,
but
no, at least to
just
me
being
would be
there.
overwhelming.
Okay.
Like all the time. But yeah, that's how I would see it.
Okay, I like it. I like it. I mean, also Frank said something really similar about, which is a mix between being kind and a kind understanding about the things, but I'm not sure how to translate it. Firmeza, being strong. No, no, it's different. But yeah,
Yeah.
knowing how, like being kind or firme, whatever it needs. So,
Like
so
to
yeah,
set limits, I think, like to
let's see
yeah,
what Google Translate said.
yeah.
Um, Firmance, firmance is the word. So yeah, I think that you both of you, yeah, like set limits. He said set limits. Yeah, it's part of fatherhood and parenting. Of course, set the limits. There is a really nice song about fatherhood and having kids of Joan Manuel Serrat, which is in Spanish. I will share the link in the comments so you can hear it later. It's a really good one and has some of these topics we have been taught. So yeah, but just to finish that comment, tell us, Luis, what about the physical and emotional contact with the kids, or just being or the guidance, which is the most important thing in fatherhood for you? I mean, you're not sure if you want kids, but if you had if you have uh, how is going to be your fatherhood?
I think that I mean I agree with Leo that it depends on your style. On my own, I mean on my case, the physical contact is, I don't know. I think that it's important. I don't know. Like people say that there are different languages of love, right? So for some people, like, physical contact is very important. For others, it's more important
For me,
the words. For others, the presence. So I think that it's up to you, right? But I agree that the most important thing is it doesn't matter how you communicate your love. The main thing for me is that you express it and that you show it, right, in a way. And probably your children, which is something that I have seen many times, not only with parents and children, like we express love, but probably the other person is not going to receive it like love, right? Like because probably they are feeling something different. So it doesn't matter at the end how much you care or you do the effort to show or care for the other. It could be there's a understanding. So for me, the role of parents is just to be present, of course, to care about your children, to listen to their problems, to try to guide them, like, okay, probably you can do this or you can do that. I can show you my own experience that happened, but at the end, you have to let them experience it and have their own takes and faults, like a teacher, right? For example, in my case as a teacher, I cannot like teach. I just share something that I learned, something that is okay. This is like the theory, but you have to live the practice, right? And that's theory because there is no book for life. So at the end, it's a very subjective thing. So yeah, for me, it's just like being as teachers, like try to share the best you can, try to guide someone, but give them space to make their own decisions, right? Which is like something very important for me too. Like not try to impose, like, okay, I did this, and because I did it and it worked, you have to do the same. No, I think that it's very important to give them space to make
Okay,
their own. Choices.
I like it. Um, Let me. I mean, I just I'm seeing it here, and I have just two topics that I want to talk about. Are really
Yeah.
quick. Um, the first, which is really related to the movie, is about the dreams he has. Um,
Mm.
yeah, I mean, if you want to change it to the twist,
No, no, no.
Coatl,
I just, yeah.
as
I
you
think,
will. I mean, he has this dream about nature, but also about what like his experience in life. What about those? I mean, I couldn't find any kind of connections, or I mean, there are obvious connections between what he is living in the day and then he's dreaming something, but I'm not sure about the of those scenes. So because it's something that every day they show us
mhm.
these dreams. So what about those, and why is always in shadows? I mean, for the people who see the movie, all his dreams are more or less like the image of the top right, the tree in black and white, and is mixing with another images of things. So yeah, for me it was a little bit confusing. I couldn't get any answer about what the fuck is going on there. So I want to ask you, what do you think about those dreams? Why Wim Wenders decide to put those images there? Just to make longer the the movie, or what?
I just see it like the structure of the movie, like a space to breathe, like an idea to
Okay,
these dreams. In order to the structure, the pacing, you give us a certain space to breathe and to give like the momentum for the next day. Because if you cut, that gives you the idea that it's rushing, like it's like you're going fast. But if you have those dreams, it like gets you into a certain different state or mood. And I don't know, the dreams are always so interesting, but it's like I mean, they are like key points of the unconscious, maybe, but also it's like, I don't know, you cannot. It's like seeing like a face in a wall. Like we just put meaning onto everything, but not always it has. Like
yeah.
what's the meaning of the tree is? So it's like what's the meaning behind? I don't know. It's hard to know. We
Okay,
could invent some, but I see it more like a directing style in order to give a better rhythm to the movie and to
okay,
not be rushed. At least like that's like the idea, I think.
okay. It's almost
Mhm.
a tool to
Yeah,
for the
I
movie.
think
Okay,
that.
I agree in that. I can buy that idea. I like it. I mean, so what do you think, Luisito?
I think that probably was a way of the director uh, to represent another important part of the routine, because he showed us from the morning when he woke up and he went to work. So I think that he was trying to represent all the important parts of our everyday basis, right? And sometimes we don't pay much attention on our dreams. So I think that for him it was like, okay, this is something we don't usually pay attention to, but it's a part of your routine, right? So, and usually their dreams are also like a summary of what we experienced before, right? What we felt, or what were key points of our days, like a summary. And we can see that there are some images, not only, yeah, mainly nature, and there's mainly images of trees and leaves and these kind of things, but also I remember when he just when the problem, he found the boy and the pattern that I mentioned before, and he dreamed that he was holding hand, right? Because it was an important feeling or important moment of that day for him. So I believe that probably that's why he was using these dreams as a way of summary and representing too.
Okay, both and both answers can be together. I mean, both of those make sense. So it could be a double purpose, right? Okay, if you want to move forward in Leo, is it? Okay, yeah. To the final comments. Oh no, I forgot. Sorry. About the tree man. This guy who is hugging the tree, and in a certain point he is acting like a tree. Do you remember this guy who was in the park? I mean, I have this comment here, and I forgot to read about that. If this tree man is the image of what Hirayama wants, this really close connection to the nature, or is the closest way to have the connection with the nature? Could sound similar, but it's not. So he wants to go to that point, uh, or what? Uh, is he connected to the nature? Looks like. Of course, we don't know, but looks like Hirayama decided to leave behind all the normal future he could have, of having money and a normal job and whatever, and decide to have all this routine and all this style of life just to be more connected to to life, to nature, to the trees. But suddenly he saw this guy who is hugging the tree. He's being the tree. Like, this dude decide to go forward, to take the next step on that path, to trying to go back in this line, from the human world to the nature. Of course, he's homeless. He's a homeless, of course, but there looks like there are no other way to be that related to the nature world. So what do you think about this tree man?
Yeah, I think that to be connected to the world to such an extent is to be an outcast of the other kind of
Okay.
world. Like it's like completely, like if you think of people that they almost turn like into elves, or
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
crazy. But it's the only way to do it fully. Like you can have an appreciation for nature, but that an appreciation. But if you want to morph or to be nature, you are stepping away from everything that it's built, I think, for in the society or this modern world. And I think that's like the problem. Like there's no balance again. Yeah.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah, and I was thinking of it's weird, yeah, because I was thinking of this man too. Um, I'm not sure if it's like the next step of Hirayama, because we can see that these kind of people, homeless, they don't give a about what other people think about them. And then I think that these people are wise in that sense, because it's the opposite of what we were saying before about success, right? That in success, we believe or we want to be to have a great job and earn a lot of money and have a lot of things just to show up and have other recognition. But these kind of people, homeless, eh, don't give they don't care about that thing. So I think that that's probably could be the symbol of this kind of people for Hirayama. He was in a sense like them, right? I mean, he was still functional in society. He had a job, he had a home, and he was functioning like most of us, but I think that he was similar to homeless in the sense that he was following his own way and his own contact with nature, probably more reserved and more normal than the homeless, but in the sense, I think that in essence was the same. So yeah, probably in the
Okay.
future, Hirayama could be end up like the same, or probably it's just a different style of the same thing.
Okay. I agree. And probably, yeah, it's just the same. And at the same time, if we want to find that spot where we are one with nature, yeah, we need to be out of society at all. So, so it's kind of hard. I mean, at least in the current conditions, I want to believe that a future where we are mm, closer to the nature and we can live uh, with it as equal as possible. I want to believe it. My desire is to have to experience that world. I know that right now sounds difficult, and right now we don't have that condition. Uh, but yeah, I want to believe this is possible. So probably we can build a world where Hirayama and the tree man can live not together, but next to each other and being happy. Uh, and let me connect this to my final comments about the movie. Uh, as we saw, he had all of those issues with his family, his sister, his father, um, and it's a good life. I mean, of course, this kind of life is just possible in a Japanese context where he has enough money to afford that a small house, but it's his own house, and he's able to buy food and whatever. So even he has this good life, and he's kind of run away from troubles, familiar problems. At the end, with this scene, that's why I choose this image, uh, where he's watching the sunrise while he's traveling to his work. Uh, it's like he's sad because of everything that is, uh, yeah, is bad in his life, but at the same time, that smile and for me is like the determination he has to continue in that path. He decided to follow that, and he's happy with his decision, even with all those problems, even with whatever you want to tell me. At the end, yeah, it's sad, but also is happy to choose that life. Uh, so yeah, for me that's part of the like message of the film, that you can be happy whatever path you choose. If you choose it and it's enough for you, it doesn't matter uh, the cost, I guess. So yeah, more or less those are my final comments about the movie and about the final scene of the movie. Any of you, whatever you want to say,
Yeah, I
something?
was just thinking before your comment, what you said about this idea of this community or this union with nature. I think it will happen. Like, but I don't know if we'll get to see it. Like, I think there will be like a process to get away, or this way of living will start to degrade into a certain extent, and there will be the only way to thrive or survive in the future will be to be again with communities or gatherings and all. And that goes against the idea of I think the whole idea of these movie clubs, at least like the thread that I see, is like the mix of the atomization of the individual and the community, and the context of a never changing world. And so it's like, even though he's alone in this context or in this movie, I think that in the end he is connected, and that's why he is happy in the end. Because I don't know, he's not alone. In the difference that other characters or movies that we have seen, that they are like more disconnected with themselves or others, and he is, at least he knows what he likes, and at least he knows how
Yes.
he, I don't know, how he functions and everything, and that's why he can see like the sunrise, and not focus on the dark. Like there's dark and there's light, and there's night and day and everything, and you get to choose what you see in the end, because it's like these two sides of the coin in a way. But this movie shows you that even though there is like pain, and even though there is like struggle, if you thrive or for your own happiness, it will come. And I think that's like the most important thing, and hopefully we get the chance to experience that sense of community more. Like we are talking right now with a screen, but imagine if we could were speaking about this like with other people, like in a present space. Imagine like the difference of not just the energy, but the happiness you will feel after the end of every session of Twisted Coatl. It would be like exponentially better to just be with present with all the people, and speaking about this. And so I think we should try to bring that back, because that's like the core of what makes us human, I think. And yeah, that's like my final comment.
Nice.
Okay. Well, in conclusion, I think that I liked the message. For me, success is not, I mean, it's not the like being rich, or there is not one way of success, the same as there is no one way to be happy, right? For me, this man, the main character Hirayama, was so wise because he found his own way, um, in spite of or yeah, in spite of the others' opinions and others' ideas of success. He was following his own way, his own path, and his path was using his routine to have a moment to do all the things, all the tasks, and all the activities that he enjoyed, and he contributed to, I mean, contributing to community, to society, through work, and also having space to the activity you enjoy. So yeah, I also agree with Dale that it's important to be more in touch with not only with nature but with the community, right? Because at the end we form part of it, and and yeah, I believe that we are here. I don't know if there is like a purpose. There is a purpose in life, but I think that if we are here, is to become better, and there is no um, I don't know. I think that it's impossible to become better without the others. I think that we need to help from each other. We need to help each other to to go through this difficult path that is life. So yeah, I believe that we need other people, and also to be like in balance with nature and animals and so on.
Perfect then. Yeah, I like it, and I share with you that idea of being, yeah, connected to with both nature and community, and we need to find a way to mix both. Uh, so yeah, I believe that we are in a great context to do it uh, in the cultural perspective, because no all the countries have this sensibility to the nature, as we here in Latin America have, and also in Japan. So I want to believe that we have good chances of making this kind of new world. So yeah, thank you very much. I think that's it. That's it for today for this movie. I really enjoy it. It's a really good one. I said through our chat that we have that this is really similar. The feeling that this movie gives you, similar to drive my car, and I was thinking about it, and yes, I need to agree with that. It's something. It's hard. It's a really good movie. Really good movie.
I
Even
think
that.
it's just a Japanese way of looking at things that it's brilliant. Like
Mm-hmm.
only they could do it like this, you know. Like they had like the perfect mix of tradition and modernity and presence and intelligence, and it's a well balance of
Yeah.
all things. Yeah, and that's why.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I really enjoy it. Thank you very much for being here, Frank. Alfonso Lopez. If I remember well, this guy was the one who commented last week. Just sent some regrets, and that's it. So yeah, thank you very much. I will finish this.
Thank you.
Good one. That's really good. So thank you very much.